The first haircut that you got when you were in the Army.
Oh, zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember, not wanting to change the topic,
Well, anyway,
and
let
I
me-
do apologize, but I became friendly with a guy from Alabama and Texas, and a guy from upstate. But the guy from Alabama, all four of us decided that we were going to get a buzz cut, what you would call now one of those,
Number ones.
like the skinhead type haircuts, you know? Because we figured we didn't want our hair to grow back so fast. Because if you know anything about the Army, the first haircut is free. Any haircut after that you pay for. But of course, in those days, it was only 40 cents a haircut.
Okay.
Well, anyway, we decided that we were going to get the buzz cut. And let me tell you, there was absolutely nothing left, you know.
Yep.
In fact, now that I look back at it, 53 years later, there's still nothing left.
Yeah. Actually, you probably have a little bit more.
I
on
probably
the
have
side.
more on the side than I did back then.
And over
And
here.
on my face, yes.
But anyway, so so he was complaining that, you know, and he wound up charging me $6.50 for having long hair.
That's nerve.
But they probably have it written down, so I didn't care because I was going to give him $10 with a $5 tip. Now
He's getting the same $10. You're just he's cutting into his tip.
his own tip. Yeah, now he's getting less money for himself, and more will go to the boss. But anyway, he's talking to me, and this guy really got my favor. He looks at my hair. He goes, "You got hair like a 42-year-old man." He goes, "How old are you? 42, 43?"
And you didn't.
And I didn't
You
even
didn't
tip him yet.
You didn't increase his tip.
I did. I wasn't going to give him $10 originally. I was going to give him only like $3 tip, 5 and 3. Then I decided to give him 5 and 5. So I told him that I was actually what my age is, which is 64, and he acted quite surprised. If he was, who knows? But he kept saying, "You don't have hair like a 64-year-old man." And anyway, so as I'm leaving, I run into somebody who's waiting to get his hair cut.
Don't tell me it's who I think it is.
Dapper Dan.
Oh.
He's there waiting to get his hair cut. And he goes, "Oh, you had your haircut with Sammy today."
I guess he's a regular there.
Yeah, he is. He said, "Yes, Sammy is is my second choice if my other guy's busy." He goes, "Sammy's very slow cutting hair." He goes, "It's okay. That's fine." And that's how I found out his name was Sammy. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. And he goes, "Yeah, he gives a good haircut." I go, "Yeah, it wasn't bad." I said, "Even if it's bad, it grows back."
I thought you know, when you're going to talk about barbers, since the discussion in barbershops invariably always turns to politics most of the time, I thought you were going to talk about, Sammy had something to say about politics.
Actually, he didn't, but they usually do. But listen, but
barbers,
all these guys are all Russians.
Oh, like Leon.
Yeah, they're all Russians or what's the other country? That's our train passing by, ladies and gentlemen. They're all Russians or what's the other country they're from? Transylvania?
Bosnia?
No.
Serbia?
Serbia? No, there's a big one. There's a big one that a lot of them came from. I think that's where Alex is from. It's one of the...
the Ukraine?
No. What's the hell's the name of that country? I'll think of it later. But anyway.
Speaking about, I always go there and I always wait for Alexei. There are always three guys that are standing around doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Josh and Matt.
They go
They
to
were Leon.
Leo, yeah. Well, I went there one time, and
Although Josh did go one time to one of the other guys because Leon either wasn't available or whatever. But Josh, like I'm sure Matt, knows all of them. You know.
yeah. One time I went in there, and Alex was busy, and one of the other guys said, "Come, I cut your hair." I looked at Alex. Go ahead. Go over there. The guy says, "What number you want?" I said, "I want scissors, not numbers."
Now he's talking about what number blade
Yeah,
for
and I
your
said,
razor. You know.
yeah, and I said, "I want you to use scissors." He goes, "You have to wait for Alex." He goes, "I haven't learned how to use scissors yet." I got up and I sat down, wait for Alex.
Well, I mean, I can use scissors, and I don't know, you know.
What
I'm
kind
always
of-
trimming my beard. I mean, that's why I try to make my beard look good because my hair doesn't grow back that much. The only time it gets a little sloppy is in the back, you know, over here.
But you should just get a ponytail like all those old guys do.
Oh, no, my hair doesn't grow like that. I couldn't do that. I don't think.
You never know. From they take everything from the sides and all over, just going to keep growing, and then they start putting ponytails on. I don't know.
I could also let my mustache grow and comb it back.
Yeah. Well, that's what the guy Sammy was doing. He had his hair growing from the sides, and he was combing up this way.
Well, you know, before I met Ellen, I used to do that. And then she cut it. I had 3 strands of hair that I used to constantly keep thinking it was covering my bald spot, which it wasn't, you know. But anyway, notice what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't call. You know, the conversation drifts, and Felix and I are now talking about haircuts, of all things. We were trying to talk about the lack of the fixing of infrastructure in our country. And now, why does mine say 6.3 decibels and yours is 11.6?
Mine is lower because my speaker is louder.
Oh, okay.
Yours is high because yours is a little lower.
Well, in any event, the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is, you know, it seems like our roads are doomed. You know, we have to wait for the next, unfortunately, the next disaster. You know, I mean, if you read the blog that I wrote up, I did mention that train crash last month that killed at least 4 people. Train going from, I believe it was between Washington, Pennsylvania, and New York. Now, they're still not sure whether the train was going at an excessive speed. They did say it was going fast, but they're still not sure if something malfunctioned. But the bottom line is, I mean, that, you know, we hear a lot from Amtrak about certain routes that are so dangerous to travel. You know, and sometimes it really is, it's the track itself.
Well, that train was going over 100 miles an hour, and there was a 50 mile an hour speed limit. That's what they basically concluded. Now, there is a law that was passed, I think, 10 years ago or more, to put these electronic gizmos that would have stopped the train.
The monitors that would prevent them from going at such excessive
It would
speed.
actually slow the train down when you come into a curve. And these were passed to law years ago, and it was mandated, and then they extended it, and I think they had till 1916 to finish it. 2016 to finish it. But it's already been more than 10 years. And now the government said, now they finally said you got to do them before, you run another train. And they did. It's not a big deal. Technology's there, and nobody wanted to spend the money or the time to do it, even though it was a law and there was money actually allocated to do it, I assume.
Well, you know what you learn, when there's money there and it's not being used, it winds up in somebody's pocket. You hate to say that, but...
No, it's like everything else, like politicians and everything else. Leave it for the last minute. If that law is supposed to be... if you're supposed to comply by 16, by the end of 16, Nobody's going to comply till the end of 16.
Well, let me say this. For any union member, okay, and I mean, we still have union members out there listening to us. You have a contract that's coming due. For the most part, no serious negotiation ever gets started until about 6 weeks before the contract is due to expire. Then, speaking as a former teacher, what happens is you wind up going a year or two on the old contract, which just simply is extended. You never see any raise. Your salary remains stagnant. And then you sign another 3 or 4 year contract. And then it takes another 6 years after that before you get another contract. I know talking to my son, who's a New York City cop, and he said they haven't gotten a raise in 2 years. They're working on the old contract for 5 years already.
But he's getting raises because he hasn't reached max yet.
Whatever he's frozen on, I still believe he's frozen. I don't know. He may be getting some steps because he's only a third year officer. But the bottom line is, the majority of the 60+ thousand cops that we have,
the ones that are maxed out are maxed out.
They have been on this salary for the last 2 years.
Well, between their overtime and everything else, they do fairly well anyway, I assume.
Speaking of police, did you hear about what happened in Texas?
Oh, the girl?
Yeah. There was a party going on. Of course, this was on Reverend Al's show. That was the last thing he spoke about. I wonder if it was a white family, if he would even bother to bring it up. You know? But, I mean, look, the cop really had no leg to stand on. Somebody was taking a video. He responded to a noisy party. Said teenagers were getting out of hand. It was a pool party. Whether it was a graduation party, a birthday party, I don't know. But people were wearing bathing suits. And he pushed this girl down to the floor, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving. To tell you the truth, I mean, he drew his weapon. These are a bunch of teenagers. Let's face it, when you have a bunch of teenagers getting together,
they make noise.
They're loud and noisy.
Yeah, but the girl that was pushed down and had her, the officer put her knee in her back, she's screaming for her mother the whole time.
Well, she didn't have a weapon. How menacing was she that he had to put his knee on her back and try to cuff her hands behind her? And then, of course, they called for backup. But, see, now, that's definitely wrong. Definitely wrong.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't change the fact of what I said before that, there are so many things to report about, but, the good Rev only looks to report about things like this. These are things that catch his...
Well, we're not talking about the rebellious Rev, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, not by any stretch of the imagination. The rebellious Rev has class. It's low class, but he's got class.
Yeah, we're talking about Reverend Al.
And since this is public airways, we can say what we like,
Just like he does.
Oh, he doesn't mix his words,
That man holds no punches.
But I don't know.
I want to say something else.
We're on for about 50 minutes so far.
But I want to say something else, and I forgot what it was.
Well, I think we should play a song, and you could think about what...
No, did you hear about that 911 call?
No.
About this man, he says he can't get into his house. No?
No.
1 in the morning, he's screaming at the 911 operator, I can't get in the house, why can't you get in the house? My cat is attacking me. That was a legitimate call.
No, only in America, ladies and gentlemen, only in America.
And he was at bay with the cat for 3 hours before he finally decided to call the police. Didn't know what to do. Every time he should try to come in, the cat would jump on him, scratch, bite, do